guys, it's Jason and Michelle. Welcome back to Adventures in Aviators. Today we are doing a super awesome excursion in Exmouth, Australia to see whale sharks and humpback whales.
So where is Exmouth? It is located in the northwest corner of Australia. It is a small little peninsula that comes out, and it's very difficult to get to. So how do you get there? Most people probably choose to fly because it's pretty far out there. The drive you can do, we drove from Perth and we did 2 7 to 8 hour days. Many people actually drive it all in one shot, which is crazy. It's something like 14 or 15 hour day. So you can't do that, or they have a regional airport so you can fly in. Really your personal preference and how much money you want to spend, but both options are available. So why do big animals come here? Well, the whale sharks are coming to feed. The Ningaloo Reef provides tons of food for them, and so every year they come just to feed. The humpback whales, on the other hand, are migrating. So they're migrating down to Antarctica, and so the moms that are traveling with their calves and are picking up an escort on their way down to Antarctica.
So there's a couple things you need to know before you book a tour like this. One is that you're getting in the water with these wild animals, so you need to be able to swim and snorkel and feel comfortable in the water doing those things. We had the opportunity to volunteer on one of these tour boats for an entire week. It's really disappointing that over the course of that week we probably saw about 10 people who, after trying it once, didn't want to get back into the water. They're like, oh, you spent all this money to see these amazing creatures, and they stopped because they weren't comfortable in the water. The season runs from March to September. The early part of the year focuses more on the food for whale sharks. The later part of the year, the whale sharks start to leave, but you get a lot more humpback whales moving through the area. Another thing to know about the latter half of the year, though, is that the seas get a little bit rockier. Maybe a lot bit rockier. We were there for the very last week of the season, and it was rocking and rolling at a couple different times. I feel pretty comfortable on boats, and even a couple days I ended up hanging my head over the side of the boat. So just be ready for that, but jump in the water, have a great experience, it's totally worth it.
Australia is actually the only first world country that offers tours to swim with wild animals, specifically the whale shark and humpbacks. So they have a sweet gig set up. They have a spotter plane that flies over and is identifying where the swim lanes are, where these animals are going to swim. And they communicate with the boat captain, the skipper, and they go back and forth to make sure they can line up just right so that they can drop you, snorkelers, into the water so that you can see these animals. And it is quite the ordeal. Sometimes it really requires a lot of swimming, which is again why we said it's really important that you're comfortable in the water. Humpbacks, you're probably going to swim more back and forth to get in their path. They are huge and they can swim very quickly. Whale sharks, they swim more in a straight line. They're less likely to divert from that line, and so you don't usually have to snorkel quite as much to get in their path.
Both whale sharks and humpback whales have specific rules in Australia about how you get in the water with them. When it comes to whale sharks, you can only get 10 people in the water with 2 different guides at the same time. They'll put you out in front of the whale shark, and when it comes by, then you're going to swim along the side of it as best you can. And it is truly awesome. They are the biggest fish in the sea. There's not a lot of interaction with them. They just kind of are doing their thing and they're feeding, and but sometimes they're going faster, sometimes they're going slower, but it is truly awesome. For humpback whales, only 7 people can get in with the 2 different instructors, and so that limits the number of people that can experience it at one time, but it also makes sure that the humpbacks feel comfortable in the water. They're much more dynamic creatures and aware of who you are and that you're there, and so sometimes you might have to swim a little bit further, or they'll cut left and you gotta swim towards the sea or swim towards the land to be able to catch a glimpse of them, but they are truly magnificent. They're bigger than whale sharks, and honestly, we came to see whale sharks and we left so excited about seeing humpback whales. They were awesome. With the humpbacks, you also have a chance of seeing their calves, which is truly special, and everyone likes seeing baby animals, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I think one thing that's really important to mention is that these are wild animals. So many places around the world will bait for different species so that you can have a tourist experience. And you'll find that a lot in Indonesia and some of these third world countries that offer tourist opportunities. And while that's really cool, the thing that's really, really cool about Australia is that they are truly wild. They are not in any sort of way baited. You are jumping in with a wild animal. And that makes it even cooler than it already is.
Another thing to know is that a lot of these places will talk about manta rays as an option to see while you're there. But remember that their first priority is to get you in the water with a whale shark or a humpback whale, which are truly majestic. And you're talking to the guy who loves manta rays more than most anything. Just know that if you are there to see manta rays, you really want to be down the way in Coral Bay, where there's a resident population, research teams, all this awesome stuff specifically about manta rays. Exmouth is for whale sharks and humpbacks.
On the tour that we were on, the day was set up to where there was a snorkeling excursion on the front end and back end. So this company did a great job of making sure we got in the water a bunch. And the first snorkel is to kind of get you comfortable in the water, then you go out to see the big things, and then you come back and have lunch and do another snorkel on the back end. So not only did you get to see all of these really cool big animals, but you got to snorkel, which usually get to see turtles or dolphins or, you know, stingrays, those types of things, which is fantastic to add to your excursion.
If you've been on these tours in Exmouth, please leave some comments, give us other people some tips so they can have an amazing experience swimming with these awesome animals. Gosh, they're cool. And huge. Cool and huge.
Cool.
Anything else? Cool and huge.
Cool and huge.
Yep. If you haven't subscribed, you can do that right over there. We're going to be talking about Australia over the next couple weeks. What an amazing country. It's real big too. And awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Huge and awesome. We'll see you next time.
So why do big animals come to feed here? Well, the whale sharks are coming to feed.
Just know that you're not going to...
Maybe move, I'll be out of focus. But they are glorious when they... So the way this works is that... So to ensure a good...